In recent years, the world has witnessed political events that raise the question, are we nearing the end of times? As we observe global political turmoil, the rise of influential leaders, and the rapid societal shifts taking place, one name consistently surfaces: Donald Trump. His rise to power, his controversial political style, and the division he has caused have led many to speculate whether he could be a harbinger of the impending rapture. Is Donald Trump a sign that the end times are near? To explore this question, we must consider biblical prophecies, the role of political leaders in the end times, and how Trump's political rise may align with these predictions. Biblical prophecies and Trump's political rise. The Bible is replete with prophecies concerning the last days, warning of the appearance of figures who will have an enormous impact on the world. Some believe these prophecies are not merely spiritual but can also manifest in political forms. According to the Bible, certain leaders will arise and lead the world into a state of turmoil, confusion, and deception. These figures will have the power to influence the masses, creating division and disorder. In Matthew chapter 24, verses 24, it is written, "For false Christs and false prophets will arise and show great signs and wonders to deceive, if possible, even the elect." Some view Trump as a manifestation of this prophecy. His polarizing effect, his ability to captivate large segments of the population, and his tendency to manipulate narratives could be interpreted as a fulfillment of the warning against false prophets. Trump's rhetoric, which often challenges traditional political norms, and his ability to stir up chaos, resonates with the biblical notion of figures who lead people astray. In addition, the Bible speaks of a time when leaders will appear who claim to have all the answers, leading the masses into spiritual and political confusion. Trump, with his unorthodox political style and his appeal to disillusioned voters, could be seen as embodying these traits. His rise to power, characterized by the use of dramatic language and an apparent disregard for traditional political norms, reflects the type of leader described in biblical prophecies. His impact on American politics, and by extension on the world stage, can be interpreted by some as signaling the arrival of the confusion and deception the Bible foretells for the last days. The rapture in Trump, a biblical interpretation. The rapture is a significant concept in Christian eschatology, often described as the event when the faithful are taken up into heaven, leaving the rest of the world to endure tribulation. According to some interpretations of biblical prophecy, the world will be in a state of chaos and moral confusion at the time of the rapture. This period will be marked by the rise of powerful, divisive figures who have a profound influence on global events. In Revelation chapter 13, verses 7, the Bible speaks of a beast that will rise to power and dominate the world. This figure is often interpreted as a symbol of political or spiritual authority that opposes God and leads people astray. Some view Trump's rise as a precursor to this type of global leadership. His political tactics, characterized by aggression, divisiveness, and a rejection of traditional norms, could be seen as fulfilling the conditions described in the Bible. Moreover, Trump's influence on global politics, his approach to international relations, his stance on issues like Jerusalem and the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, and his confrontational dealings with other nations, could be interpreted as aligning with the biblical prophecy of a world in turmoil before the end of time. The Bible predicts a period when nations will be in conflict and alliances will shift. Trump's foreign policy, marked by his support for Israel and his tension with other global powers, fits within this framework. Trump as a symbol of the end times. In the Bible, there is a description of leaders who will rise to power and wreak havoc on the world order. These figures will challenge the established norms and disrupt the global political landscape. Trump, with his populist rhetoric and tendency to break with international conventions, can be seen as fulfilling this prophecy. His stance on issues such as trade, immigration, and diplomacy has shaken the foundations of the global system, much like the biblical figures who are described as leading the world into a state of disarray. In Daniel chapter 7, verses 25, the Bible speaks of a ruler who will speak pompous words against the Most High and seek to change times and laws. Trump's political career, marked by a rejection of established norms and a willingness to challenge the status quo, could be seen as an embodiment of this prophecy. His impact on American laws and policies, as well as his approach to international agreements, has caused widespread disruption both within the United States and globally. Additionally, the Bible warns of leaders who will be divisive, who will rise to power by exploiting the fears and divisions of the people. Trump's political rhetoric often appeals to the grievances of his supporters, creating a sense of us versus them. This divisiveness, coupled with his disregard for traditional political decorum, could be interpreted as a precursor to the kind of global confusion that the Bible predicts will accompany the end times. Trump's role in the global political shift, the rise of powerful figures like Trump, may not just signal the end of an era, but could also represent the beginning of a new world order. A world order described in the Bible as one of great turmoil and strife. Trump's political career has been marked by a reorientation of global alliances with a focus on nationalism, protectionism, and challenging international institutions. This shift in global politics could be seen as part of the unfolding of biblical prophecies, where the nations of the world are reshaped in preparation for the events leading to the rapture. The Bible speaks of a world where nations will rise and fall, where power will shift rapidly, and where leaders will make bold, sometimes reckless decisions. Trump's foreign policy, which has included aggressive trade negotiations, withdrawing from international agreements, and questioning long-standing alliances, mirrors these predictions. Some may interpret this as a sign that the world is moving closer to the kind of political instability described in biblical prophecies about the end times. Furthermore, Trump's relationship with Israel, including his decision to move the U.S. Embassy to Jerusalem, has been seen by some as fulfilling the prophecy that Jerusalem will be a focal point in the last days. This development, along with Trump's actions in the Middle East, may be seen as aligning with biblical predictions about the role of Israel in the final days before the rapture. The emotional impact of Trump's leadership. One of the most significant aspects of Trump's rise is the emotional impact he has had on people around the world. His leadership style, which often involves polarizing rhetoric and decisive action, has created deep divisions in society. Some see him as a savior who represents a break from the corrupt political establishment, while others view him as a dangerous figure who threatens democracy and stability. The Bible speaks of a time when the truth will be obscured, when leaders will mislead the masses, and when confusion will reign. Trump's political style and his ability to manipulate public opinion through social media and other platforms could be interpreted as a fulfillment of these prophecies. The emotional and psychological impact of his leadership, marked by division, confusion, and uncertainty, fits the description of the end times as portrayed in the Bible. Are we near the end times? The world is undergoing significant political and social changes. Nations are more divided than ever, and powerful leaders like Trump are shaping global events in ways that challenge traditional norms. Some view these shifts as signs that we are nearing the end.